Welcome to another edition of the Red Raider Spotlight. I'm Jared Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Well, mighty Joe, this week we're going to talk about quarterback Will Hammond, who stepped in for his first regular season start. It was a road start against the defending Big 12 champs Arizona State last week. Ultimately, the Red Raiders lost 26-22, and the quarterback's always going to get a lot of the blame for that. But I think he probably deserves some of the blame for it, though. We'll talk about this later, but he did, end up playing clutch at the end of the game.
Yeah. I mean, he gets some of the blame. He gets a lot of the credit too. But,
Sure.
I mean, the accuracy issues are something that we've seen a little bit. I mean, he was lights out against Utah.
Yeah.
But we really haven't seen him pass at that level since then. So I mean, and there's just a lot of, and his receivers weren't always helping him out either, and sometimes he was facing pressure. But as a quarterback, you got to deal with those things. You need to see him get more accurate. But by the same token, he showed some Baron Morton about himself.
Yeah.
The way he responded late in the game when Texas Tech was just, looked like they had no chance. It was all over with. Improbably enough, 2 touchdowns late to retake the lead. 2 minutes to play. Very, very tough environment. I mean, he showed all the intangibles, and that, so you would like to see maybe him get started a little bit earlier from now on.
Yeah.
Play a little bit more at that high level from the first quarter on, and if that happens, then look out.
That's interesting. The last point you made about getting started earlier, Don Williams of the Lubbock Avalanche Journal brought up. Eventually, he brought up to Coach McGuire that Will has played really well off the bench. Like if Barron gets hurt and he comes in, whether it be for the most part against TCU last year on the road, or obviously at Utah, he played lights out. I mean, as good as anybody in the country that week. But in the starts, it's been more of a struggle. Against Arkansas in the bowl game, there were some extenuating circumstances. He didn't have all the team and all that, but still, he didn't look quite as impressive as he did coming in off the bench. And then, of course, the same thing last week against Arizona State. I don't know what to make of that, other than it might just be a coincidence, but maybe it's not. Is there anything you can make of that?
I don't know. I mean, one thing I would say is the more you play, particularly as a young quarterback like this, the more tape there is on you, the more everybody's getting to work on you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they know your tendencies.
Right.
Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. They can sort of funnel and maneuver their defense to deal with that sort of thing. By the same token, though, the more you play, the more experience you get. The more experience you get, the better.
Used to doing that, against that stuff.
Yeah. Sure. So, I mean, I don't know which one of those factors is more important, although I would think maybe early on in a career like that, it's probably a struggle to get ahead of the defense and the defensive coordinators and what they're trying to do to you. They're recognizing your stuff. And I think that's part of the issue. But, I mean, as to the specifics of coming off of the bench or starting, I honestly don't know. I don't have a good answer.
Yeah, I don't either. It is interesting. It's perhaps something to monitor moving forward. He did throw 2 touchdowns. He ran for another. I don't remember if there was a turnover. There's obviously turnovers on downs.
There was a 1 interception.
1 interception, okay. So a lot's happened, even just in Saturday, so it's hard to keep it all together. But, he did run well against Kansas. He ran all right, not as good against Arizona State. They were looking for it.
Oh, yeah.
I think some of the audibles, like to me, what I want to see the most from Will, and I think he'll learn from this, is some of the audibles might be better, what he switches to, his decisions in the RPO game. Trust your running back, trust your offensive line. Sometimes you're just there to lead and put your teammates in the best position rather than make the amazing throw or something. Even if you think the throw might be there, like, okay, we need to establish the running game. Like that kind of thing that I think Barron has really evolved into, that a couple of years ago we saw some of the similar things from. I think this team is going to live and die by the defense and how it runs the ball for the most part. And then some clutch plays from its quarterback. So that's positive. Again, going back, that's what I'm hanging our hats on, is that. A couple of things about Will, just in interviewing him all the way back from high school, and then, seeing his interviews now, very serious, like an old soul kind of dude. You don't ever have to worry about him working hard, being prepared, knowing what he's supposed to do necessarily. Now, in terms of learning the in and outs on game day, that's a whole nother thing. I think you can only get that from experience, and he's working on that. But I'm interested to see his progression, and I think we'll probably see it this week. I think there's a good chance that Barron gets one more kind of rest to make sure he's healthy going into that pivotal Kansas State game. I'm not disrespecting Oklahoma State in terms of like that. I don't think it's impossible that they upset Tech. We've seen some crazy things in this series, but given the state of their program, and I don't know that for certain right now, but given the state of their program, I think that might be the case this week. Or even if Barron starts, if Tech gets a big lead, they throw Will in there to give him some more experience and for Barron just to remain healthy.
Yeah, this is really the perfect game for Hammond. I mean, because I mean, you want as much experience as you can for this guy.
Yeah.
But this is a game where it's not, the intensity is not, the danger of the game is not going to be what it was.
We hope.
Probably.
Most likely.
In this game, as it was against Arizona State. So here's an opportunity for him to get more comfortable, to learn, and to maybe operate under a little bit less duress than he was against Arizona State. I mean, and I'll tell you something else with regards to the audibling and stuff that you're talking about. It might be wise to, if Mac Leftwich sort of code certain plays so that, all right, in this situation,
just
can't check
run the ball.
Whatever I call, that's what you're going to run. You might have others where you have a little bit more latitude, and others where you do whatever you want. And they may be doing something like that already. But I mean, you might want a little bit of restriction on that and sort of take a little bit off his plate a little bit and just let him play with more of a clear head.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Chuck Hines asked McGuire if during the Monday press conference if Will, has the whole, if the whole playbook is open to him, for lack of a better term. And he said, not only that, yes, but Mitch Griffiths, the third string, also. So it's not like anything's being held back with Will. Honestly, if anything, his running element kind of adds to the playbook. Whereas Barron, you don't want, even if he could run, you don't want him to run at this point. Don't get hurt, But I think the future's still bright for Will Hammond. I know with some people, they don't. Maybe they're, it's kind of white and black. I know we see the promise and the potential in Will, so I'm excited to see what he does moving forward. But one more thing I want to say is, don't forget to go to Red Ritter Outfitter for all your Texas Tech gear. They have great stuff like this Dark Horse hat and this Dark Horse polo. Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.